This is a previously recorded episode of the IT in the D Show.
The following program is intended for mature audiences.
This is Max Headroom, and what you're about to witness is one of the most sinister-sounding intros to a trailer to one of the greatest epics ever.
Live from the Raw Radio X studios in downtown Detroit, this is the IT in the D Show.
Alive! It's alive! It's alive!
Dig you IT geeks. This is Dre DeMatteo from Sons of Anarchy. You are listening to IT in the D.
What happens when you tap the angry beaver in the bunghole?
Exactly. Come on. Christ. To hell with this. I'm calling a break. We'll come back to the show.
What's up, everybody? This is Billy Zapka. Sweep the leg. Listening to IT in the D Show. No mercy.
Just where do you guys think you are?
The Library of Congress?
Detroit? Beyond the sun?
Any of those, right?
Hey guys, this is Time Off, Bruce Leroy from The Last Dragon. You're listening to the IT&D Show.
That analogy sucks because it's right.
Hi, I'm Ernie Hudson, and you're listening to IT in the D. All you nerds out there.
Take him to Detroit. No! No, not Detroit! No! No, please! Anything but that! No!
I used to hang out at the Magumbo Bar. It was a rough place, the seediest dive on the wharf. Populated with every reject and cutthroat from Bombay to Calcutta. It's worse than Detroit.
You will never find the more wretched hive of scum and villainy.
Then don't come. Shut up. This is Robert Hayes, the Ted Stryker to my mother. When I'm not hanging out at the Magumbo Bar, I'm listening to the IT and the D Show. It's worse than Detroit.
Is there such thing as a meat hangover?
I love my Monday meat stick.
Turn your microphone off. Just get out.
Hi, this is Martin Cove, John Kreese from the Karate Kid movie, and you're listening to IT in the D.
I don't know who brought that bell in, but Bob's got a new toy.
Hi, I'm Brittany Daniel from The Game, and you're listening to IT in the D.
Hey, Jerry Slater. Hey, Jerry Slater. Really good. Hey, Johnny Slater.
The Turf Monster is in full effect here.
Hey, folks, this is WWE Hall of Famer Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and you're listening to the IT in the D Show. Tough guy. Ho!
You're not very informative, but wow, are you entertaining.
Hello, everybody. It's Jason David Frank, the Green Ranger, and you are listening to IT in the D.
So, what would you little maniacs like to do first?
The question isn't what are we going to do. The question is what aren't we going to do.
Ludicrous speed! Go!
We actually just accepted the ALS challenge. We thought we'd never do that. We are live, sitting here in the Raw Radio X studios. This is the IT in the D Show. We are in the Russell Industrial Center in beautiful Midtown Detroit, Michigan. As always, the show is hosted by Mr. Monday Night, Bob the Sales Guy, Dave the Geek. Special guest star, Jeremiah here.
No voice of reason.
No voice of reason. Jeremiah's here.
He's AWOL. Who needs reason?
I do not want or need reason in my life. Because we did something I thought I wouldn't be doing, and that was accepting the ALS challenge. But we'll get to that in a little bit. We did it right. We did it our way. We have a full studio today. We have a conference coming up, Newco. We're going to be talking about what's going on there. We have the 4 finalists from Hatch Detroit. The studio is full as it's ever been.
For us, at least.
And there's no flooding on the way to get here, so yeah.
No.
We made it.
Yeah, this week was much easier to get downtown, and I'm sure it'll be much easier to get back home afterwards as well. Yeah, last week was quite the adventure. If you guys didn't listen to last week's episode, yeah, we were dumb. We went ahead and we drove downtown for last week, and it took us a lot longer to get home than it did to get into the city, just because it wasn't even so much the water, it was the dead cars everywhere that were so much fun. So yeah.
They did everything.
Yeah.
I've seen things I cannot unsee. The route that I took to get here,
Like I said, I figured I'll turn on Google Maps, I'll take the nav, it gets all the traffic updates, it'll know how to get me there, and it did. But wow, what an interesting adventure it was. Like I've always said, and we talked about this with somebody last week. GPS often might want to have, I'm a middle-aged white guy checkbox that you can check. Just good times,
great times.
It was an adventure. So, hey, and the one thing that we didn't mention, so we are brought to you by Logicalis. They did step up, and they are our first full sponsor across the board for everything that we have going on. If you're not familiar with them, you can hit them at logicalis.com. It is LOGICLALIS, .com. They're an international IT solutions provider and managed services as well. They have expertise in communications and collaboration, data center, and cloud services. So basically, they do a little bit of everything that your company is asking you to do right now.
If you're buying HP or Cisco or VMware, they are the guys.
They are. And the other cool part is, they employ about 3,700 people worldwide. They've got 2 offices right here in Metro Detroit.
Farmington Hills and Auburn Hills.
They do. So they do stuff, a lot of stuff locally
do you know they have 11 CCIEs on staff?
No.
Yeah. When
I get asked all the time, who do you know that has a CCIE?
They got 11 of them.
Huh.
When they did the NetArcs acquisition, right? Dwayne had 11 or 12 on staff, and they retained them, all of them.
Well, and why wouldn't they? I mean, like I said,
Exactly.
I constantly get asked for somebody to have them. Yeah. So, I mean, that's that's handling business. The one thing, let's go ahead and get the business out of the way. Our phone number, in case anybody wants to call in, is nobody ever calls. 313-462-0107. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/ITandTheD. You can find us on Twitter at ITandTheD. The big thing to remember is that we have our event on Thursday night. We are up in Auburn Hills, what used to be the Post Bar. It is now Cicerelli's 22.
Cicerelli's.
Yep. Yes, named after Dino, the old hockey player from the Red Wings.
He's only like a couple years older than us. He's not that old.
Does he have a stake in the place?
Oh, he owns all of them. Yeah. Well, and by old, I don't mean like aged. I mean old like he hasn't played in a while.
He's like your age.
Right. He is. Yeah.
He's in the Legends game and he's our age. I think we're old.
Well, that gets back to the whole conversation with DBA yesterday, where it's just one of those things where. We've just made decisions about our lives and what we do with our bodies that have led us to be old. That's just how that goes.
Well, it's like the realization where you're listening to the oldie station, and it's like, oh yeah, that was a prom.
Oh no! I will top that. When I was still living in D.C., so this was '95, and Rod Stewart's "Heart and Soul," "You're in my heart," came on as the golden oldie of the day, and I wanted to stab somebody in the eye with a pen. I'm like, at the time, I'm like 22 years old at the time, and I'm like, that's the song I grew up. That my aunt laughed at me for singing along with the radio.
When I heard the Clash on CSX, I wanted to stab myself in the eye with a pencil.
Yeah, when you start hearing the Muzak versions of your favorite...
Pearl Jam was on the D this week, and I'm like, no.
This is like a data-driven decision, because one of the lesser-known things is there's some data out there that shows that your musical tastes freeze at like 27 or something like that.
Oh,
past that point, you're useless to them. You're now in the back catalog.
You always go back to the music you grew up with.
My kids are a mess because music today sucks. What are they going to listen to?
Drake?
Maybe.
Nah. You remember Friday from Rebecca Black? That was amazing. Like, is that going to be on CSX?
Yeah, that'll be an awesome retirement home conversation.
So, hey,
Fox with Rebecca Black.
Yeah, when they break out the karaoke machine on, senior center night.
So, Dave, do me a favor. Cue up the dirt music. Is that handy?
I may not actually. Give me a second. Go ahead and yak about something else.
So I have to. No, we're starting it up proper.
Oh, well, then I'll tell you what. If we're going to do it proper. Na 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 do 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 do.
Dun, dun, dun,
I didn't mean to hit you where it hurt. But. So if you've paid attention to Facebook this week, your feed has been flooded, and I use that term loosely, with people dumping buckets of ice over their head. Why, you ask?
In order to avoid donating money to charity.
Correct. So if you have been living under a rock, the supposed ice bucket challenge has been on ESPN, Facebook, and you challenge. Let's say I'm going to challenge Mr. Jeremiah, and you have 2 choices. You can dump said bucket of ice water on your head, or you can donate $100 to ALS. So in order to avoid having to give money to a charity, you have to pretty much dump ice water on your head and not give money to the charity.
Right. So and like that's and then of course there's the guy that died over the weekend because that was the story in USA Today.
Hypothermia?
Yeah, no, he decided he was going to try to dive into effectively a kiddie pool full of ice water to try to do something cool. And
that's called Darwinism.
Well, and he jumped off a building. And as we all know from Wile E. Coyote, that really doesn't work out that way.
Acme Lifesaver didn't work?
Right. No, that didn't happen.
And so I coined a term. It's not my term, but there's people at the 3rd Street that didn't know what I was talking about. It is the uber example of slacktivism.
Absolutely.
That I've ever seen.
I'm not actually going to do anything, but I'm going to try to make myself feel better and make my friends like me on Facebook.
And then they can sleep better tonight going, I saved someone from Lou Gehrig's disease from dumping water on my head. So you know what we did? We got challenged and we're like, you know what? We're not gonna do it quietly. So we're donating to me and Dave are donating $100. We're not even dumping the water.
No, it's not going to happen.
Call us what you want. You get money. You get money, you help cure, because I know a couple families that have been hit by it, and it's not fun. So we're not making any light of the awareness and whatnot. But
I mean,
money's what helps.
You think back in time. I mean, Lou Gehrig, you got a disease named after you. How do you not see that coming?
Lou, you got Lou Gehrig's disease. What? So stupid. That's the dumbest thing you said all week.
See, the thing is, what I thought you guys would have done is auction off people to dump water, like all the people who've wanted to get back at some point over the years.
No, we don't make people do stupid. You know what? Donate money. All the people we tagged, you'd better donate money. If I see you dumping water on your heads,
everyone we've ever written an article about.
What if you do both?
No, I don't know. What's the point of dumping water on here if you're going to donate money? I'm going to raise awareness.
That's what we need at one of our events.
No, I just want a video of myself. That's all.
Pixel Party dunk tank with ice water for ALS. Let's make that happen.
Think we could set it up in the parking lot at the Imperial?
I've seen Stranger Things in the parking lot of the Majestic, so I'm sure a dunk tank will be fine.
I saw the cramps at the Majestic. I'm sure we could do a lot of things at the Majestic. So that's it. That's the whole week. The selective is like and I hear that they raised like $13 million, and that's great. 5?
Yes.
Okay.
As compared to 1 at the same time period last year. So, I mean, I get it. It's doing good things, but...
So if you go to facebook.com/ITND, you can see the video me and Dave just did right before the show where we did it our way.
Are you listening, Malcolm? Because that was in direct response to you. That was, yeah.
That's all right. I don't mind helping.
Right.
So what's
we do it right.
So what's did Facebook Messenger kill anyone this week?
No, and oh my God. So that's the one that we're getting a ton of traffic on there, and I do love this. One of the things that makes me laugh all the time is I love seeing how people wind up on our site. Like, our search engine referring traffic is one of the funniest things in the world to me. So, like, every time there's a prostitution ring that gets busted, our traffic goes to the roof because of the LinkedIn prostitution ring that I wrote a couple years ago. We're currently...
Through the roof. I'm not talking a couple hits.
Oh, no,
thousands.
We're talking thousands. Yeah, people go to Google and type in, like, Detroit escort, Detroit prostitute, whatever. Yeah, they wind up on our site. That's awesome. I almost feel like we need to post an apology to them. Like, sorry, this isn't really... This is not the site you're looking for. You can go about your business. But so there's that. Lately, we've been taking a lot of traffic about, what was I think it was do I really have to install Facebook Messenger?
What was it?
Was the one that's like generating a ton of traffic.
Like the number one referring traffic, Jeremiah, was do I have to install Facebook Messenger?
Yeah, we're getting,
and they're finding us.
Thousands because of the seriously shut up about Facebook Messenger post that I did.
That's brilliant. That's. I wonder if someone at Google has a sense of humor, or the algorithm has a sense of humor.
No. You would hope. Well, if the algorithm has a sense of humor, then we're one step closer to Skynet, and I'm afraid.
I think we're already there. We're already there.
But I mean, that's the thing that just kills me. And this, in a nutshell, if any of you out there are of the, you've been listening to all the hype and craziness and wacky mayhem about, Facebook Messenger, it's got all these crazy permissions, and it's going to record video on my nightstand when I have it plugged in, and it's going to record audio when I don't want it to, and it's going to move my car around the parking lot when I go into the mall. And
I kind of want it to.
Check out Eddie. Facebook is watching you poop.com. Let's make that a thing.
Oh, yeah, Jeff Goldblum. That'd be nice. But so the thing that people don't understand is, and I put out on our site, I did a nice little chart, a whole little like table of here's all the permissions that the Facebook basic app, like,
for as mocking as it was very well written. I'll give you that.
If you have the Facebook app installed on your phone, you really need to shut up about Facebook Messenger, because the permissions that Facebook Messenger requires or requests are nothing compared to the ones that the Facebook app does. And more to the point, if you've already got the Facebook app, you've already granted all the permissions that the Facebook Messenger needs. And then there's the genius people that are saying, oh, well, I'm just going to use my browser on my phone to access my messages.
Facebook is watching you. Poop.com is available. Should we get it?
Absolutely.
All right. And we'll just link to that blog.
Right. And so people are like, oh, well, I'm just going to use my browser because my browser on my phone is safe, and I can just okay, well, if you go take a look at the permissions that your browser has on your phone.
I mean, you can upload photos to Facebook through your browser now.
Right. Well, and guess what?
On the phone.
And you can call through Messenger. That's why it needs access to your phone and your camera. So
and by the way, Facebook bought WhatsApp, which is an SMS service. And so, of course, they're trying to incorporate SMS. But just say no if you don't want it to do that. It's not that hard.
All the people that are like, stop contacting me on Facebook Messenger. If you need me, I'll be on SMS or a different texting.
Send me a fax. Like shut up.
Dial my phone.
Well, that's the bit. Like, I don't even think so. I actually got into an argument.
They can hack my dial tone phones. I'm going back to rotary.
Every time I see some of that on Facebook, I want to go ahead and mail them a book of stamps.
Right. Rotary phones. We should start collecting rotary phones and start mailing people Commodore 64s and rotary phones.
I'll start sending everybody. I'm sure I still have them floating around somewhere. My old CompuServe installed diskettes.
You know what, though? That's awesome. I do appreciate, however, the Commodore 64 Twitter client.
Yes.
That I highly appreciate.
That's outstanding.
I was a huge Commodore 64 user.
Oh, loved it. Absolutely.
300 baud modem, because my dad didn't want a chip for the 1200 baud modem. That was like $20 more.
Right.
300, that's going to be just fine.
As long as you don't do images, Twitter actually works just fine.
Then my first PC was a 9600 baud modem instead of him getting me a 15.4 or whatever.
Yeah, the 15.4, and then there was the 28, 14.4, and then there was
the 14.4 was too expensive, so he got me the 9600.
Right.
So I'm on AOL at a 9600 baud modem in 92.
Kids today just don't understand the struggle.
They don't.
He could only troll so fast.
I love trolling.
You know how long it took to see an ASCII boob in 1994?
And he waited all night for it. All night.
Oh, you had to put your computer in the basement because you couldn't do it in the bedroom because you couldn't back up far enough?
Right.
So you had to put your computer in the basement so you could back up to the other side of the basement.
The pound signs and the asterisks are what define the nipples, and you just had to wait for those.
Jesus Christmas. Show's going to hell already. So what else is going on?
I just feel like I need to pull this out.
Yeah.
Exactly. Growler, please.
No.
Was that last week? Oh, yeah. By the way, the beers tonight is brought to you by Falling Down Beer Company over at
As always, love
in
those
Warren.
guys.
We're drinking Nice Beaver right now.
Yeah, we are. Nice
Delicious.
Beaver. I need to get that quoted.
Now, how do you render a Nice Beaver in ASCII? That's the question.
Not a clue. But no, so people were, I'm going to use my browser, and the browser has more permissions than any app you're going to install on your phone. And honestly, like I said, I wound up getting into an argument on a friend's wall because, this girl chimed in, and she's like, well, I work for Google, and, obviously you're not familiar with permission sets and that kind of stuff. And so over the course...
Isn't she a social media girl?
She's a marketing chick at Google. And I'm like, you know what? I know a lot of marketing people at Ford. That doesn't mean they know how to build a car.
Right. No. I'm going to argue with a rocket scientist because I do Twitter for NASA, so I know. Stupid.
So, yeah, that was outstanding. That was a ton of fun. I'm loving all of the conversations
what's scary,
and all that fun stuff we're getting.
How easily, not to be societal, how easily people are led.
That's right. That's the part that killed me. I'm
crazy.
And the people that are freaking out about it the hardest are the ones that I'm looking at them dead in the eye, and I'm like, you don't I know you. You don't believe anything else the media says. You're the one that's posting constantly that the media is full of crap. They don't publish the real story, and yet you're believing this.
You manage people's social media accounts.
Right.
And you're saying, I'm not using Facebook Messenger anymore. Don't stop talking.
Right.
Do not dare.
You teach $40 how to Twitter your way to success classes, but you're afraid of Facebook Messenger.
This is only getting started. All you got to do is one person's got to write an article, and a couple house moms have to flip their lids, and then it's an epidemic.
It turns into mass hysteria.
Dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria.
But imagine how easily you could do anything.
Well, and the thing is that there's so many things tracking you that you don't even realize. that you don't even know.
Well, and that's, like I said, that's the part that kills me is people are all up at arms about, the app permissions are just, and I'm like, you have no idea how app permissions work. You've never looked at a single app permission as it installed itself on your phone. You're fooling no one. You're kidding no one.
And here's a crazy thought.
Shut up.
If you don't,
we're getting called out on our ALS challenge. They go, pick the money up, go buy some ice, put on your big boy underwear, and do the damn challenge, and then you can donate the money. No.
Who was that?
Malcolm.
No. Of course it was.
No.
Yeah, when you get challenged to do something by a professional wrestler, it does take on a different tone.
It really does. It really does.
Don't tell me what to do.
You're not the boss of me.
I'm not going to do it.
But yeah, I mean that's the part that just kills me is all the people that are suddenly they're experts about apps on phones, and suddenly suddenly everyone's a genius. Oh, that's what it was. It was the IQ quiz that was floating around. Now everyone's a genius on Facebook.
I have a crazy idea. If you don't want people to know it, don't share it. It's a crazy thought. You know what? If you're worried about everyone knowing about what's happening with your wife, don't post it on Facebook. Have a conversation with your wife. Crazy
what
thought.
a novel concept. That's what Bob and I, last week I looked at Bob and I'm like, you know what? You want to keep me from installing something? Tell me it's going to share all my Facebook chats and text messages with my wife. That'll keep me from installing.
No.
Go back to carrier pigeons and smoke signals faster than you can bat an eye.
And if they only knew what was on Flappy Birds and Candy Crush. The Candy Crush ones, I deleted it a long time ago.
Oh, yeah, why does Angry Birds need to be aware of my network state and location?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
I'll tell you, though, the ultimate sign that you're in the friend zone is if you get the Candy Crush invite.
That's the friend zone?
That's the new friend zone.
That's my grandma's, the only people that send me those.
Here we go. Hey, we have a caller.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
This is the IT and the D Show. What can I do for you? Hello?
Going once?
You got 3. You got 2. Bye-bye. You got 1. You out.
Bye-bye.
So Candy Crush is the new friend zone?
It's just one of those things I heard with it that the whole, everyone's meeting each other, through Facebook and having, I met him on Facebook and I did this or whatever.
Because just like nobody actually knows each other on LinkedIn, you don't actually have to be friends with somebody to be friends on Facebook.
To some people, I guess that's the way it is. In fact, I had this conversation with someone about how they're friends with Facebook on them for a while before they date them to get to know them.
Are you? What? Huh?
Yeah, seriously.
That's why nobody's getting married anymore. That's why it's all the whole
because all the dirt comes out before the walk down the aisle and
exactly. No, remember I told you.
Don't get me wrong. I've discovered that quite a few of my friends are jackholes that I probably don't want to hang out with anymore.
You imagine if Facebook existed when we were 19?
We'd still be in jail.
No, amongst other things.
No, we'd still be in jail.
Amongst a lot of things.
Yeah.
Because I remember the tree stump story from last
year. No one would have ever hired me.
Oh, no.
It would have, I'd be working at Farmer Jack right now.
Right, we'd be a greeter. Right. Welcome to Walmart.
Welcome to Walmart.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, it's been interesting. I mean, it's just, yeah. I mean, that was the fun one. The other one that made me laugh, our search engine referring traffic, is we're getting a lot of traffic for people looking for Slow Roll Monday night.
No.
That makes me laugh.
Stop it.
Really, really, really hard.
You saw the Apple ad, right?
We did. And I'm sure that's why everybody's looking for it, and that's why they're winding up on Bob's rant about
I'm not going to lie. I had a nice talk with someone that just said, hey, at the end of the day, it's not supposed to do anything, but it builds community. And I kind of accepted that as being fine with it. But then again, I just said, why can't you just sit at the park?
Why do you have to block traffic? Yeah. Why do you have to be a pain in my ass?
Ride bikes around Belle Isle.
I was getting texted pictures, and there's 1,000 people out there right now.
Hashtag Schwinning.
Schwinning.
Right.
Well, then, of course, you got the slow roll, so you got to be able to have other kind of rolls, right? I mean,
right.
I hear there's other roles going on.
We did. We talked about how there's the fender bender that is apparently been around for a bit, but they're just firing back up for the LGBT community.
How is slow roll not good enough where you have to make your own slow roll for your people now?
Well, because according to the article I read in Metro Times, the biking community is just too macho.
I've never ever I've never ever known the biking community to be amongst the more like. I cover the auto show. Right. I've covered other things. I've covered the bike show and the auto show.
You want macho? Go hit
the very different crowds.
I'm just saying, this past weekend. That was
different crowds.
Oh, by the way, we tried to hit the Woodward Dream Cruise on Friday. We went all hung out a little bit. And
Did you get a limo parking space for that?
No, they don't have limo parking space. I did at Motley Crue though.
No, the worst part was that. So our mistake was that we waited for friends, and so that by the time we actually got to Woodward, we took a lap and they closed Woodward.
We didn't even get a lap.
Yeah, never wait.
No,
for those
we didn't know that they closed Woodward at 10 o'clock at night.
Oh, really?
So we got stopped right in front of, everything was open until Hunter House, and then it stops. Right, nothing's good. Then all of a sudden, right behind my car, the cops put the barricades up. There's literally nobody behind us.
So we were like, all right, bar.
I'm cruising by myself.
Right. It was pretty much it. Yeah, it was like people that shouldn't have been out there. It's like, come on!
Wow, look at that 2009 minivan.
A ton of them on Facebook.
Town and Country. That's a nice Town and Country.
Yeah, that was pretty
I saw a ton of people getting busted having their stash with them for the cruise. On my Facebook wall for some reason over the weekend lit up with 5 or 6 different posts of different people. Oh man, that stinks. They got busted. And I guess that's was a thing.
Duh.
There's cops everywhere.
Belle Isle. You're mad about people going to Belle Isle and getting pulled over for speeding and then getting found that they have previous warrants and they get arrested. And, oh, by the way, there's drugs in the car. Maybe if you're concerned about it and you have prior warrants and you have drugs in the car, you shouldn't go where you know that there are cops. Not that complicated, or at least it shouldn't be.
But here's the thing. It's almost like, dare I say it's biblical. It's like, do, but don't touch. It's like the end of Devil's Advocate, right? Bring your hot rod out to Woodward, but don't spin the tire. Don't let it tire. Right. Have a 500 horsepower Cobra, but don't speed. But don't go over 20. Show us your car, but don't live up behind you.
It's essentially, it's 5 o'clock traffic on Woodward every day, just with old cars that will overheat and break down.
But here's what it should be, and honestly, take those right 2 lanes and just let people park. Because nobody's driving anyway, and they're stuck in traffic, and everybody's overheating their hot rods. I got a 76 Caddy. That thing wasn't made to sit.
No.
With a 500 cc engine. Is that what it's called? CC engine? I don't. That's a motorcycle. I don't. That's how much I'm a car guy.
Not CC. No.
I'm getting made fun of that for. Oh, it's not 500 horse. Cubic liter. What is that called? Is that what it is?
CL.
Maybe that's why they got you out of the Dream Cruise.
That's why.
Just saying.
Hey, you know what? I will give Bob all the credit in the world. I actually got to post a picture of Bob on Facebook doing manual labor. Now, granted, it was simply spraying crap on his tires to make the white walls white, but he had a brush. I was extremely impressed that Bob actually had a brush, and then he told me it came with the car.
It did.
The prior owner had it in the trunk.
I usually hire that stuff done. They come over and then they.
Bob's a fan of manual labor, not manual labor.
Boo! Boo!
Bad.
Victoria's leaving.
At Hatch Detroit, we say that's bad.
We got this.
Consider yourself admonished.
I know.
We're gonna have to.
But we like her.
The first half hour, we're gonna have to edit out.
I'm fun. What's not to like? I'm fun.
Of course you are. That's why we keep having you back.
So hey, it's we're coming up against a break. We have a packed show. Like I said, we got the Newco folks here talking about a conference coming up. We have the 4 finalists for Hatch Detroit.
We do.
We
have people that want to win $50,000. So you should probably listen to make an informed decision, because we all know that you don't when it comes to elections. But this would be a good one to pay attention to.
This is the IT in the D show. We'll be right back.
IT in the D. Read. Meet, listen, Networking Detroit, one beer at a time.
Hey folks, this is WWE Hall of Famer Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and you're listening to the IT and the D show. Tough guy, ho!
Doesn't matter, just don't curse.
Yo fellas, y'all ready to do this? Yeah, what's up, guys?
This is a previously recorded episode of the IT in the D show.
So we are back. Segment 2, episode 55, the IT and the D show here in the Raw Radio X studios in the Russell Industrial Center in beautiful Midtown Detroit, Michigan. It's Bob the Sales Guy here with Dave the Geek. Jeremiah, the non-voice of reason, and we had a riveting discussion on the ingredients in Slim Jims in the break.
Apparently we're terrible people.
Oh, no, I'm awful. I can't believe we ate. Well, the third ingredient in a Slim Jim is a mechanically separated chicken, and I said it was good, and I thanked the chicken for giving its life for my Slim Jim.
Which is odd because it doesn't taste like chicken.
Then I was also told that Funyuns are gross, and I'm like, you know what? We're not talking about your stuff no more. I'm kidding. So we have Kevin and Ann here from Newco. It used to be called OpenCo last year, am I correct?
Yes.
Yeah, we had you guys in back on episode 8.
I noticed that.
Yeah, so you're
more like 55 or something.
You're fine.
There you go.
No, yeah,
that's
we got
the side you want to talk into.
Okay.
There you go.
All right.
So yeah, we had you guys back on episode 8 last year.
That was 8?
Yeah, it really was.
Jeez.
And you guys are coming around this year.
Yes.
And you're running on the same day as our Pink Slip Party event.
Yeah.
And we're talking to you anyway.
Yeah. We really appreciate that.
It's called collaboration.
Right.
Except when they have events going against ours, like in the same area, and then like, no, we're not going to include you or put your logo on our website.
I did notice that. You have every logo for every
known to man.
Every Detroit company known to man except ours. We feel left out.
We do.
And unloved.
Would you like us to put it on?
Yes.
Okay. Consider it done.
So talk to us. So last year we had the whole conversation about. So it's a quote unquote open conference. It's an open format. It's a lot of wandering around and that kind of stuff. So I mean, what is? Well, no, I mean it's people go to different places. They go to different things.
I believe you called it like a pub crawl. It's
right,
an IT
but for businesses,
crawl.
yes.
Yes, kind of. Yes.
Kind of.
Well,
elaborate.
It's more than IT as far as the types of businesses that are hosting. There's a lot of IT entrepreneurial types of businesses, but there are businesses like former Hatch winners and a lot. It's a broad variety.
Well, yeah, I mean, we were sitting there at 3rd Street, and you were saying that Dangerously Delicious Pies is one of your host companies that's going to be inviting people into their doors and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, not to sway the vote, but I am a big pie lover, so...
As we are, too.
Yeah.
We're huge fans of pie.
I could not put enough.
Naturally ingredient pie.
No.
There's no... chicken.
Delicious. I judge on delicious.
Dissected chicken.
I will eat all the
mechanically separated. Get it right.
If they make a good pie, I'm eating it.
I've seen. I'll be honest with you. I've seen some cooks over the years that make me okay with mechanically separated. So, the Newco event is on September 18th.
Yes.
So, like, what is it? Where is it? How do people find out more about it? Like what's the focus and scope? I mean, it's
So people can find out more about it by going to the website, which is det.newco.co.
Okay.
It's a free event to the public, and it gives everyone an opportunity to really see businesses and the new economy going on in the city.
So now, when you say that, like, what does that mean? Like, I mean, what do they see when they go to one of these companies?
Well, what they can do is sign up for a specific open house for each company, and these are scheduled in different time slots throughout the day.
Okay.
And during that time slot, they'll actually go into the business. The founders, the employees will actually share what the business is, what they're doing as far as the new economy, and why Detroit.
Okay.
So it gives everyone an opportunity to really hear the good things that are going on in the city.
So you're basically hopping business to business, right? It's kind of like the open. So what can people expect when they hit company X? What's is it just going to be like an open house? Is there somebody guest speakers? Is there grub laid out? What can they expect when they hit these?
Well, it really differs depending on the host co. But what we ask is for them to be very specific to sharing innovation and collaboration and the way they're approaching their business model here in the city, because that's really what we're finding to be key in the businesses and emerging businesses in Detroit. Is there's an open, collaborative environment. People are sharing information. Everyone is voting and supporting success for all these new businesses. So we want them during their presentation to share, how they're collaborating, what is the innovation they're bringing to their business model, and why Detroit.
Okay. I've actually I went last year.
Oh, thank you.
And I'll tell you, most day-long conferences are boring as hell.
Mm-hmm.
You sit in a seat, and somebody yaks at you for like a day, and it's like everything that like IT and the D and everything that we all talk about, like
it should not be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'll never forget getting out and about, and actually went to Detroit Dirt.
Oh, great.
And checked that out. This is Passion is her name, and this is before she had the whole Ford commercial or whatever. And this is like one cool lady in this like space that was like completely hidden away next to I-96 there by the bridge,
right?
Where she's actually creating compost. Actually, now I just found out that she's working with the Renaissance Center so that all of their waste. They don't do any landfill now. It's all compost and becomes dirt and great for gardens, all those kind of real things. She's made an actual business out of it instead of just like hopes and dreams or whatever. She's actually made it go. But what I loved about the whole setup was, all right, you want to see this, you want to see that, you can just check it out. You know, and it's not like you're caught in this thing. The only thing I always thought is that just getting between things was always like a little bit of those things, but it's on you to do that, or it was, but it was something that once you got into the rhythm of it, it was great, and you could actually find out what's going on the ground with these companies, other than like the same story that continually happens of, look at this selected company that gives us the vision of Detroit that we'd like to give you.
Because they sent a big check.
Right. No, it's like, okay.
Oh
you know
my
what?
God, they're saving Detroit.
I sat on a hay bale and it smelled like manure because I was in a place that did compost.
What's manure?
Manure. Mr. Manure. Mr. Manure. Sorry, Amanda.
So what sort? So so that was last year. So what sort of companies are engaged and involved this year? Like what should people be looking for? Yeah,
I think half of them been on the show.
Probably.
Yes, that's what we understand. So we do have several of the same businesses from last year. Unfortunately, we don't have Detroit Dirt. Passion will be out of town during our event. But we do have a lot of key businesses from last year. And then what we look to do is bring on a new range of businesses that reflected the city as far as the demographics and who their customer base is, as well as some more educational types of businesses as far as coding.
I saw GDI is involved, yep.
Mm-hmm. So we tried to broaden as far as the types of businesses.
So what's the end game of OpenCo? I mean, what's the mission statement? What do you hope people to get out of it? Is it basically an enlightenment, saying, "Hey, I didn't know these guys were here," or is it more?
Yes.
Okay, it is. Okay.
Yes, it's exactly that. We want people to come away being excited about what's going on in the city and the business and new economy that is thriving here. It's just not, people don't know about it outside of the city. In the suburbs, people are.
Well, because we're approached all the time by the next guy with his iPhone case. I'm like, where are they made? Chicago. No, you're not coming on the show.
Right.
Because
exactly.
we're all. Except for Slim Jims, I think everything we have on the show, because
better made everything.
No, because whatchamacallit said no. Winters and Dearborn both said no to me, so I said, all right, fine, whatever.
Slim Jims.
Exactly.
Screw you guys, we're getting Slim Jims.
Exactly.
Yes, I mean, there is so much going on here that people don't know about. So we want to make sure that people are experiencing it and not just sitting in an auditorium somewhere.
That aren't all DVP companies,
right?
Exactly. Shaking each other's hands.
Exactly.
Nothing against them, but sometimes
but kind of.
It's good to get outside of it. No.
Well, I mean, there's a tapestry of companies that have been dealing with the city for years, and it's like, I think a lot of times, there's an interesting article in the Columbia Journalism Review about, does Dan Gilbert get all this coverage? And I don't think it's necessarily about negative or positive. I think the real answer is much more along the lines of, there's a ton of stuff happening beyond that.
Absolutely.
Like that can be your entree, that can be your appetizer that brings you into the city. Yeah. But there is such a wonderful mosaic and tapestry of people that make it so that they can do what they do.
Jeremiah, when you have one of the biggest mortgage companies in the country as your backbone, you're going to have money to be able to. I mean, the guys that we have on the show,
and that's fine.
They don't have a marketing budget. They can't buy out cranes to get these blogs every week,
right?
But those guys can, because they got Quicken. Hey, we're not going to run TV ads on NFL this week, so we can pay for this conference,
right?
We were going to spend $480,000 this week on two ads. We're going to scrap. You know what I mean? The startup guys you're talking about, they don't have nowhere near the access to that.
No,
Yeah,
that's the thing.
their marketing budget is us.
I'll tell you guys,
coming for you, Dan.
That $1.69 caramel corn is really expensive,
right?
But at the end of the day, though, is that it's that there are so many things going on, and what I'm looking for in Detroit going forward is that we get beyond that, where there's multiple people. Like, I'd like to see 10 Dan Gilberts, and a whole ecosystem created, because one engine or one sun that powers all this stuff.
Well, you know what's funny?
Loans,
you know what's funny,
does not
Jeremiah?
ecosystem make.
Right.
Penske and Lasorda are doing as much.
And Bill Ford too, with his transportation
they're doing
stuff.
just as much. But the fact that Penske and Lasorda are sitting in Birmingham, they don't get the hipster love. Like I always say, you could take an awesome sandwich shop out by my house or the pizzeria, and if you put it in Corktown in a dilapidated barbershop,
true.
And you put it in a dilapidated barbershop and serve it up with a guy with a curly mustache, everyone's going to write about how amazing it is.
Yeah, you put Green Dot in Auburn Hills,
but if
nothing
you think
happens.
about it,
and you put 112 in Corktown, oh my God, I'm going to put it on Food Network.
With one of the things with the Detroit Regional News Hub dealing with all these reporters over the last few years, there is a bias towards that downtown area for sure. That's what they want to go see, because that's what they understand as urban areas. Like, American suburbia doesn't compute
right
for a lot of those folks. They want to come in, they want to get off the. Well, I mean, it's partially us too, right? Like, you can't really get from the airport to anywhere without like a taxi.
Well, Jeremiah,
I would love to say that this is where the Hatch Detroit contest comes incredibly important.
Absolutely.
Because we have 4 people here that are the villages. We have somebody from the Avenue of Fashion, Woodbridge, and Corktown that are looking to open shop. Nobody from downtown Midtown.
Really?
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah. Just saying.
Not really. Just kidding.
Slim Jims? Do you want to talk about Slim Jims?
No, because you'll tell us that we're wrong.
Really more interesting.
Yeah, I know. You'll tell us that we're wrong, and we don't like that. But no, so from a Newco perspective, so I mean, like, so who? And I guess Jeremiah did bring up a good point about last year. So, I mean, how do people get from company to company? Like, I mean, is it spread out all over Detroit? Is it mostly Midtown focused? Is it like, how does that work?
Well, when you go to our site, you can schedule your day.
Okay.
And there is a lot of tools for you to identify the type of business that you'd like to see and where it's located, so that you can kind of curate your day based on location.
So are you driving yourself?
Yes.
Okay.
God, I hate the word curate.
Curate to
pivot your curation.
Sorry, curate and pivot. I'm all done.
I told you we're all going to get those 3-wheel grandma bikes that they take.
And we're going to do Bro Roll
to go to Farmer Jack. No. So we're going to go to Farmer Jack and we're going to do Bro Roll at Newco.
Right.
We're not doing nothing today anyway, except we're waiting for.
Can we get Segways?
No, I want the grandma bikes from Farmer Jack.
I want to see you on a Segway.
No, I don't want to.
Bob doesn't have a center of balance.
No, I don't. It's like at my neck.
I feel like if you.
So what sort so what sort of companies are involved this year? Like, I mean, what are people like when they go to det.newco.co? I mean, what are people? What kind of companies are they setting up their day with?
Well, it really depends on their interest. We do have several food and restaurant clients or hostcos. We do have a lot of tech companies, and then we do have a lot of social good companies. Focus Hope is actually going to be joining us this year.
Okay. So is anybody doing anything like outside the box, like, hey, show up here and we're doing this and that, or is it pretty much open house and is there a formula they have to follow, or is there?
We do ask that it is not a pitch session for them to sell. We ask them to.
They're going to do that.
Yes, and but we always.
I'm
have.
a sales guy. We know how to do it without saying we're doing it.
Right. Well, you know what? If they can
Evil.
share some good news about Detroit and why they're here, then we're happy to have them.
No, right on.
There's a lot that are offering food and tchotchkes, and Team Detroit is going to have a technical.
Push balls for everyone.
Yeah, and I'll be first in line.
Squeezy stress balls.
Yeah, exactly.
And we have a lot of the core types of businesses in the city. D-Hive is very involved this year.
So let me ask this: the company that's behind this. I mean, in order to they're from out of state, but we're showcasing Detroit's finest.
Right.
Is that their point to kind of like get to? Kind of like the unseen. I know I asked the question, but I'm trying to rephrase it in a different way. What's their point? Like the mother,
So John Patel, who actually founded Wired Magazine and Federated Media.
You guys needed approval to come on here, I heard from him.
Really?
Weren't you telling me? What did you guys tell me that you had to go somewhere to...
Well, they... it's important. What they're doing is important, and they want to make sure that we are following the path that they've set forth as far as really being entrepreneurial-minded businesses and so forth. So
we line up with a path.
There has to be
That's a little frightening.
There's always a path.
No, but that we line up with
pivot off the path.
Right.
Yeah, maybe you guys not so much, but if you don't say curated, I think I'm okay.
Right. As long as
I lost my path years ago.
Right.
As long as our logo's on the list by tomorrow,
we're good.
We won't edit you out of the show. No, I'm just kidding.
I guess we have done that before.
Well, we also have a VIP event that happens the night before, which does not affect your Thursday.
Are we invited? No. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
You have to pay for that.
They have to pay for that.
I know. I'm just kidding.
Anyway, but we have David Farbin as our speaker. He's our keynote speaker, and he wrote a book about the hunt, and he's going to talk about that. And we also have a panel of 4 local folks that have worked with the different neighborhoods. Mm-hmm. So we have Rufus Bartel with the Livernois Avenue Fashion. And in the old Woodward area, we have the Motor City Java House is going to be there. And in Midtown, we have... Can't read. Anne's writing here.
Garden Block.
Garden Block.
Mm-hmm. Scott Rutherbush.
Yeah, and then they have a panel that's being moderated by Model D.
Okay.
And they're going to be talking about how entrepreneurs can help develop neighborhoods.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
And that'll be an interesting...
That's the night before. That's on the 17th.
Okay.
And that event kicks off the Host Code Day.
Okay, so what is... Okay, so like that day, so I go to det.newco.co and I pick my day. Like what is it, like is this like picking college classes? Like I don't want anything that starts before 10 a.m.
No, it's the same thing
and
as...
I don't want...
No, I'm going to Cisco sales kickoff last year and I had to pick sessions. And it's the exact same price. I looked at the site and I go, God, it just looks like the exact same thing I just did like 2 hours ago, picking my sessions for Vegas. So, yeah.
Right. So there are some that you don't even have to move. There'll be 4 or 5 sessions at Bamboo Detroit.
Okay.
There's some at Grand Circus area.
Okay.
So
Mercantile.
if you didn't at Detroit Mercantile, so there's going to be some that you don't even have to move locations. They're just going to be one host go after another.
Gotcha.
There are others that you'll want to drive to or walk to. Mm-hmm. There's enough that you could walk to for the day. There's a couple...
Well, and it's September. The weather shouldn't be... It's not like we're going to be dealing with feet of snow. So
Exactly.
Hopefully no floods.
Right. Yeah, no sharks on 696 again.
Yes.
Well, with the biggest IT job fair in your neighborhood, it should be a fun day.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. You could probably bike a lot of it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't bike, Jeremiah.
I know you don't. You sometimes also don't run.
That's like saying I could
move in general.
I could eat vegan, but I
could eat natural Slim Jims, but I'd rather not.
Organic Slim Jims for you?
No.
This year we did try to look at how people were going from one host code to the next and try to make it as convenient as we can. But really, we're hoping for next year that we will be able to input some kind of transportation system so we can get further out into the city.
I'm surprised you guys haven't like hooked up with like either Uber or Lyft or both of them and just try to hook them into the whole
cause. Our first year we did.
Yeah, I do. I remember that.
There wasn't a lot of interest, so it's going to take more.
No interest from Uber?
No, Uber did participate. They're just people weren't interested in taking that kind of transportation.
I think for a lot of these kind of things, people might want like a bus.
Yeah,
like a Detroit bus or something like that.
Well, actually, we had.
We're not doing anything. Let's do the Newco party bus.
We have our event.
Before it's a warm up.
We don't have to do. We'll just run the party bus.
You have to be there like at 3.
All right.
Maybe next year, you guys, we can have an IT in the D bus.
We want to be the party afterwards. We don't want to be the bus.
Oh,
okay. We can work that in.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I guess we are coming up against a break, so I want to make sure we get this in. So it is det.newco.co, and everybody can go out there. And you said it was free to the public.
It's free to the public.
Okay.
Wow.
So I go, I pick whatever sessions I want to go to, and I can kind of plan out my entire day that way.
Yeah.
So it starts at what time?
At 10.
We have sessions at 9, 11, 1, 3, and 4:30.
Okay. So and then everybody wraps up and they're good to go. And hey, they can head on over to the Majestic and come work with us.
We'll see you afterwards.
They'll be at Midtown already, so they can just hop over there.
Yes, although we actually have a wrap party. We do have a wrap party, but you can go to both.
W-Rap or Rap?
Yeah, wrapping up our...
Oh, no, I thought like Rap Battle.
No, we can do that, too.
We actually have the band from the Sugar House, the Dixieland Jazz Band from Wednesday nights at the Majestic. So, yeah, we're going to have fun.
Oh, good.
So, all right, so anything else we didn't get to?
You know what? I would love to share a little bit more about the actual host code names and what's there. So Drought will be there. Firebird Tavern will have several from Detroit Ventures, Food Junkie, Backstitch, Temp Pro, Up To, and Style Shack. We have La Fiera and Roasting Plant, the Detroit Pop Shop, which is a popsicle company.
Oh. They taste really good, and they have booze popsicles.
I've never had a bad popsicle.
Always Brewing Detroit, Good Cakes and Bakes, the Michigan Urban Farming Initiative. We also have Detroit Farm and Garden, so we're doing
awesome.
That. We have Detroit Kitchen Connect, Detroit Denim, Shinola, D-Hive, some of the folks that we all are aware of. But come check it out. You'll learn a lot about new businesses in Detroit. And we'd love to see you there.
Awesome. So, again, it is det.newco.co. We're going to pop into a break, and when we come back, we're going to hop in with Victoria from Hatch Detroit and a couple of the finalists for that. So, again, it's a $50,000 competition. Y'all want to listen up and make sure you know who's going to win.
This is the IT in the D Show. We'll be right back.
IT in the D. Read, meet, listen. Networking Detroit, one beer at a time.
Hi, I'm Brittany Daniel from The Game, and you're listening to IT and the D Show.
Drums, please.
This is a previously recorded episode of the IT in the D Show.
Come on, now that we found.
And we are back, segment 3, episode 55, IT and the D Show, brought to you by Logic Callis. We're here in the Raw Radio X studios in the Russell Industrial Center in beautiful Midtown Detroit, Michigan. This is Bob the Sales Guy here with David Geek. And Jeff, the voice of reason, is not here. And Jeremiah, the non-voice of reason, is gone.
We just kicked him out.
We kicked him out. So we are left in the studio. Just real quick, if you want to get us online, itandthed.com.
Facebook.com/ITandTheD.
Twitter,
at ITandTheD. No hashtag.
IT and the D.
Hashtags do not solve problems. We've had this conversation.
Yeah, they do. They save the planet from all of us.
Right. And our phone number, in case you want to call in, is 313-462-0107.
So we are lucky once again to host the 4 finalists of the Hatch Detroit contest.
Yeah, I was talking to Ashley earlier, and I'm not going to lie. Like, last year, that was like we were just getting our feet wet with this, and that was kind of
we trusted you.
And it was kind of a coup for us. Like, it was really kind of cool that you guys came in and took a leap of faith with us. And so, yeah, it's great. We were happy for Batch that, made their way through.
We've all grown up since then.
Oh, and we love you guys.
Yeah, we're
not that we didn't before.
You know what we didn't, Dave? You know what we didn't say?
It was a first date last year. We get it.
The kiss was awkward, but
you leaned in, you leaned to the side. It was
not to me. It wasn't. What we forgot to say is the last episode we had hit 119,000 listens.
We did,
and this week we were going to hit 1 million for the show.
Yeah, unless the bottom falls out, we are going to hit 1 million overall listeners for our show this
Craziness.
Week, which is
mass hysteria.
I still don't understand it, but I'm going to roll with it.
Roll with it. Roll with it.
So, yeah.
People listen to Right Said Fred, so I don't know.
Right.
People watch NASCAR.
Right.
Just, whatever.
So, but that does. That's the cool thing. We did. We had a great time last year helping get the word out about the 4 finalists and getting their message out to folks and doing a little bit of a deep dive with them. And so it's good that we can do it again this year. It was kind of last minute. I reached out to you last night because I was clicking around and I hit the site and I'm like, oh, wow, they're wrapping up this week. And I told her we'd have them. Hi. So I shot her an email at 7 o'clock last night and was
That's how this happened?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, you're awesome, Victoria.
A little awkward, but because I love you guys, we're like, for him. For you.
After the
three of you.
After the last experience we all went through.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I should not have given you this opportunity. We should all just leave.
No.
It wasn't our fault you dropped your keys.
Oh, God. I know. $400 later.
Really?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Let's not go there.
Yeah.
We're here to talk about these fabulous tour.
It's all about the present now.
That's why she didn't bring the Polish babka this time.
I brought you nothing.
Except fabulous guests to chat with.
Exactly.
So here's my understanding is we've got Cockadoodle, so that's a breakfast and lunch place that's looking to open up downtown.
No, the Avenue of Fashion at 7 Mile in Livernois.
Okay.
Yep, serving the neighborhoods.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And we've got Gabriel Hall. We've got Damien?
That's right.
Okay.
Gabriel.
And so it's, from what I understand, it's sort of a New Orleans, Detroit connection bar performance center kind of thing?
Let me explain it just a little bit. Yeah, it'll be New Orleans food, but it's my family is so deep into the music history of New Orleans and Detroit. There's a deep connection there that we'll have a museum aspect of it that will preserve a lot of that history. So the roots go deep.
Okay.
That sounds awesome.
So sort of like a jazz rock cafe.
Not exactly. I mean, no. When there's not live music, you will hear the sound of New Orleans between the old and the new sound, but we will have live music mixing from R&B, pop, or whatever, as long as it's genuine, good music.
Outstanding. Cool. I'm not going to lie. He gave me a couple flyers earlier.
Let me ask you a question.
We're going to be paying attention
to these guys. If it was Zydeco 7 days a week, I would go there 7 days a week.
Right.
We're not here to choose favorites, guys. We're here. Come on.
I like breakfast, too. Don't get me wrong.
Move along.
Food, we're good.
Move along.
And then we've got Sister Pie.
Hi.
And you're a bakery, and you do seasonal flavors.
Yeah, seasonal pies and cookies. We've actually been in operation for 2 years. I started out of my parents' home kitchen in Thanksgiving of 2012, and then a year later I started working out of a commercial kitchen on Woodward. And so now we're at the next step, opening a full-service retail bakery that will also serve breakfast and lunch.
Okay. And then we've got Third Wave Music, which actually probably applies to the Raw Radio X or appeals to the Raw Radio X demographic like we never do. Because they're all musicians except for us. And so, from what I understood, it's sort of a community gathering place as well as new and used music equipment sales.
Yeah, basically I've been saying it's everything you need to keep playing. And, they call the coffee shop the daytime bar for creatives.
Okay.
The music store is the daytime bar for musicians. So you got to get what you got to get to keep your instruments and everything going to be able to create and perform.
Well, I'm not going to lie to you. I walked into Guitar Center last week because I was looking for stuff for here, actually. That's the exact same face I made, actually. It's what I learned is that, they are the Slim Jim of the music industry. Yeah, you go to them because it's what's there, not necessarily because it's what you really like or want. But no, so I mean, what I learned quickly is that anybody under the age of 40 that works there, I don't want to talk to. Because, Skippy, if you were a rock star, you wouldn't be working at Guitar Center, so drop the attitude and just tell me where I can buy mic stands.
Well, for you, yes. But also, I had a friend that was in the Spin Top 10 bands to check out.
Okay.
And she went into Guitar Center, and it's even worse if you're a woman.
Oh, because I'm sure it's all ego and attitude.
All ego.
Yeah.
Remember going to Harmony House in high school?
Harmony House.
You're buying that. You listen to Richard Marx, loser. Like, you still making $4.50?
Yeah, exactly. You minimum wage D-bag. Get away from me. Don't pass judgment on my life. All right, so I'll tell you what. Let's go ahead and dive into. I've been waiting all night to say this. So, what does Cockadoodle do?
I'm glad you asked.
Go, Rudy.
Yes, go.
So,
Rudy.
and introduce yourself. Who you are and what the background is and all that stuff.
I'm Lisa Cardwell. I'm a native Detroiter, and I grew up actually in the market that I intend to operate in at 7 Mile in Livernois.
Okay.
And I will be located along the Avenue of Fashion, which is historically a prime retail district serving that area and really the city at large. So as the name Cockadoodle might suggest, we're coined from the call of a rooster at the break of dawn. So I will provide full-service breakfast and lunch in a charming atmosphere and a menu centered on hot smoked chicken.
Okay.
Yes, if you like chicken, you'll love ours because they're not dry, they're not fried, nor full of pesticides.
Not mechanically separated.
Exactly.
Definitely not.
The quality of the Cockadoodle chicken. We source them from an Amish supplier locally in Eastern Market.
Okay.
Yeah, I stuff them with aromatics like carrot, celery, thyme, and onion. And when I immerse them in a brining solution, the flavor permeates from the outside in, and those aromatics flavor from the inside out.
Dave, I'm hungry.
So, yes.
I know now. Are you open after the show's over?
Can be.
No, I don't want that now.
So by the time I brine them overnight and smoke them over apple wood, you're left with the most tender, juicy, succulent chicken ever.
Okay.
So the business will sell them whole and also translate them to soup, salads, sandwiches, and breakfast items too.
Okay, so I mean, are you in operation now, and how is that going, and what are you doing?
Not as of yet.
Okay.
We are still in the conceptual phase and sort of seeking capital. So winning the $50,000 through Hatch Detroit will be a great first drop in the bucket.
Okay. So then what made you decide to hop into Hatch? Like, I mean, is this something you're already doing on your own in your free time, or like how did this come to be?
Yes, I'd say so. Well, I consider myself a restaurant conceptualist, and this is the most viable concept that I've come up with that both speaks to my dream and my passions, and also will enhance my community. So it's just a culmination of
every neighborhood needs a good diner. I'm convinced when I moved into where I lived, needed to have a good diner on the corner. And lo and behold, they tore it down last year.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you live where you live. I'm just saying.
What does that mean?
Oh,
sorry, was that a
City
negative?
Suburb Smackdown.
Oh, darn.
On Sunday.
I know.
Ashley Hennon said that, not Vittoria
No, so I mean it's good. So I mean, so 7 in Livernois is the area that you're looking to open up. I mean, and that's great. I mean, so like why there? Why chicken? Why like what makes you think that you can take this ball and run with it? Like if Hatch gets behind you.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Hatch is behind her and everyone else here. Just saying.
I know you guys. We've had this we had this conversation. Yep, we had this conversation last time. Even the folks that don't win, you guys are all behind. But I mean, absolutely. So if you win and you get the $50,000 and all the support that goes along with that, like what differentiates you from everybody else, and like how does that work?
Well, you asked first why the area. I've studied the market, and like I said, I also grew up in the area, so I'm very familiar with the unmet need for more full-service dining options.
Okay.
And having conducted a market research survey and also a focus group where I tested my signature chicken, I am, very confident that Cockadoodle will succeed.
We're never part of the good focus groups.
No.
I'll try. If chicken sounds like it sounds, I'm going down there all the time.
It's awesome, and we're a cohesive concept. So it started actually a few Thanksgivings ago when I was delegated to prepare the smoked turkey. I did the same processing pretty much. I brined it overnight and stuffed it with those aromatics, and my family was so pleased with the result, they suggested that I go into the turkey selling business, but I declined, and that really got me thinking about a concept perhaps centered around smoked poultry. So then I thought of Cockadoodle, and obviously you must serve breakfast at a place called Cockadoodle, and I just wrapped it up in a nice bow.
So what do you envision? Like a family diner, a family restaurant? I mean, everything has a kind of unique spin to it, right? What do you envision the place to kind of look like?
Definitely very family friendly. Somewhere where you can dine alone, bring your family, bring a date, and stay a while. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, very cool. So, I mean, anything, like, can people find out about you on Facebook, online? Do you have a presence anywhere yet?
We do. We're on Facebook.
Okay.
Facebook.com/Cockadoodle313.
Okay.
I'm on Twitter at @EatCockadoodle, @_Cockadoodle, and also a website under construction. So stay tuned, and
you're in good company with helping with that. I'm just saying.
Helping with what?
We might know a few people that do
website not being under construction.
Oh, you're right. IT and the D.
Exactly.
We might know a few people.
It's like destiny.
Exactly. One or two. Yeah, exactly.
All right.
All right, and then sitting right next to you is another Lisa from Sister Pies. So, kind of the same concept, like how you said this came out of your parents' kitchen, and it's just one of those things where like everybody in the family just said, "Hey, look, you really need to start selling these," or
no, actually, I was living in Brooklyn for 6 years. I grew up in Michigan. I moved away to Brooklyn, and I actually went there to study.
Brooklyn, Michigan. Just kidding. Sorry.
No, Brooklyn.
At first, I went to Brooklyn, Michigan. Then
where's Natasha when we need her?
Exactly.
I went there after I studied theater in college because I wanted to pursue that.
Oh, I did that. I made that mistake, and then I found out what theater teachers made.
Good one. But actually, as soon as I got to New York, I just became really obsessed with the food culture.
Oh, it's
in a way that I hadn't ever experienced before, and I really wanted to get into it, but I didn't quite know how because I had just gone to 4 years of liberal arts school.
Right.
At Kalamazoo College.
Kalamazoo College, yeah. And so I actually decided to start filming a cooking show in my apartment. So I set up my MacBook on top of my refrigerator, and I filmed an episode every week. I did 100 episodes, 4 seasons of the show. By the end of it, I was like dressing up as Teddy Roosevelt and having conversations with myself, serving pie to myself, if you can understand what I'm talking about.
I do, and now I'm wondering if we have security.
Anyway.
No, I mean that's awesome.
Yeah, it was a very it's a do-it-yourself type situation.
Yeah.
I'm a self-starter. After that, I worked at a couple of professional bakeries in the city, both run by strong women teams, and I wanted to move back to Detroit and start my own. So I actually started out of my parents' kitchen because I thought that would be a good way to test the waters.
Right.
You can start a business under the cottage food law, and I knew that I didn't have the capital or the resources or the knowledge to just jump right in and start a business from scratch, like open my doors.
Right.
So I thought, well, this is a good way for me to do it. So I started sending out a monthly menu to family and friends at Thanksgiving. And, Thanksgiving was when it started. I got 40 pie orders. So I did that for the next year. I moved into a commercial kitchen a year later. I made 100 pies that Thanksgiving.
Okay.
So Thanksgiving's coming up again. I have a feeling we're going to double that number once more. So in that second year of the commercial kitchen, we really started to see this momentum happening, and then we got the opportunity to sell at a little market that opened up in the West Village by our friends David, Kirby, and Caitlin James.
Okay.
They opened this place called Parker Street Market right on Parker Street, and we started delivering our cookies and pies to them, and we were just constantly getting texts like, well, we just sold out of everything you brought us. Yeah. So it was like very clear for us, like suddenly we knew that we had customers who would come back and order from us, but now we knew we had customers who would go to a specific destination.
Right.
And then from there, we were just sitting in front of the place one day. We looked across the street. There was a hair salon that had been unoccupied for a while, and the rest is history.
Well, there's a huge demand for savory pies because when we go to Third Street and we're like, we see like what they have. We're like, we tried one. We're like, oh my god, it's amazing. You need to try this, and it becomes like this talking point because no one ever has something like pulled pork with pie crust and barbecue sauce, and it's amazing. It's something like I've never eaten before, and it's something that I crave all the time. It's something that I talk about. So it's a great niche that needs more.
For sure.
Right, and that's where I was going to go with that. Is so like what kind of pies are you making?
So I like to describe our pies as seasonally focused with unique interpretations. For example, our menu right now
sounds very Iron Chef-ish.
Well, I did grow up watching a lot of Food Network. Barefoot Contessa. Right now our menu is a ginger peach biscuit pie.
Okay.
It's a peach pie with fresh ginger and then a cornmeal biscuit buttermilk topping.
Numb.
We have a blueberry plum balsamic pie with a lattice top. We also have a salted maple pie. That's our signature flavor that's on the menu.
And there's Bob. Salted meatball pie.
Oh, how did I miss that? I was checking Twitter and I totally missed it.
Maple. Sorry. I thought she said meatball. I was like, oh, there's Bob.
I could go with that. that. But I think meatballs are already pretty salty, so I
No. There's your target demographic for the meatball pie.
So we do one savory pie every month. Right now, it's a ratatouille pie. It's actually part of a campaign called Grown and Made in Detroit. It features all Detroit produce. So.
Okay.
And then we also, I wanted to mention before I forget that I brought these cookies with me. These are our buckwheat chocolate chip cookies.
So you've been letting us eat Slim Jims?
The ingredient list. I'm sure these were mentioned. These were actually voted best cookie by Our Detroit Magazine this year.
Nice.
Yeah, so I'll just
saved them till 10:30. For the love of
Everyone
Pete.
likes a little bit of
Who's
sweet.
Pete? Gimme.
So, I mean, kind of the same question. So, I mean, like, what do you foresee happening if you win the Hatch Detroit contest? Like, what's the game plan?
Yeah.
And I mean, like, you keep saying we. Like, is there a team around you that you've got rolling? Like, what happens next?
Sure. So I do have one employee. Her name is Angie. She joined me last November. So that is why I say we, but I also think of Sister Pie as kind of a growing family business.
Okay.
And not necessarily family like
And
my
not
actual
like
sister.
not Mormon. No, not sister wives, just Sister Pie.
Mormons
You
do
went
like to
there.
make pie. But so that's why I call it the we. Actually, so we've put a deposit down on that space at Parker and Kercheval.
So you're going.
I have a designer and an architect. Basically, we just need our funding.
Okay.
Yeah. So we have we actually our startup costs are $80,000. 65% of that would be fully covered by the Hatch grant,
Right.
which would go directly to our build-out costs. The rest of it is startup payroll and rent, and
Okay.
then also equipment.
All right. So, I mean, it sounds like you put a lot of thought into this. I mean, and so what's game plan would be to open.
We're looking at a projected opening of April of
Okay.
2015, and we'd also like to install a pop-up counter at Thanksgiving so that people can start to come to the space and get used to getting pie there.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So you guys could work together. You get a turkey and a pie,
Oh, that's
and then you're all set and good to go.
Oh my god!
That's a great idea.
All right. And so how do people find out more about you online? Like, I mean, do you have Facebook, website, wherever?
Yeah. So we have sisterpie.com. We also are on Instagram at sisterpiedetroit. We do dance videos on there as well as display pictures of pies and cookies in all sorts of processes. And
Sorry.
then facebook.com/sisterpie is also,
Awesome.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, hey, appreciate you coming by. We're
before we break, did we not hit anything you wanted to get into?
I think you got it.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, hey, we're going to be back with the other two finalists from Hatch Detroit. And this is the IT and the D Show. We'll be right back.
IT and the D. Read, meet, listen. Networking Detroit. One beer at a time.
What's up, everybody? This is Billy Zapka. Sweep the leg. Listening to IT and the D Show. No mercy.
This is a previously recorded episode of the IT in the D Show.
We are back. The most important, the most decadent, the best. Segment 4.
Often imitated, never duplicated.
No, segment 4 is always our favorite because we're knee-deep in falling down beer. This is episode 55 of the IT and the D Show. We are sitting here in the Raw Radio X studios in the Russell Industrial in beautiful Midtown Detroit, Michigan. This is Bob the Sales Guy here with Dave the Geek. ITinthed.com. We are here with the Hatch Detroit folks. We had the first two finalists, and now we have the last two.
So I'm going to take a moment because I feel like we cannot get through this episode without me at least queuing up this song.
Why? Did you get us eating together over here?
It's episode 55.
Oh! I don't listen to you.
What else is new?
You can't drive 50. That makes no sense. When I went to Cabo, they had a drink called I Can't Drive 55, and it made no sense either because it had like all the alcohol in it. And like, yeah,
so it was just I can't drive.
I can't drive, like, period. Like, 55 has nothing to do with it.
It's like NyQuil, the sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching. What the hell happened to my pants?
And I didn't say once this was like my number when I played sports, and this is Bosworth's number.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
So all right, let's tell you what. Let's go ahead and dive in. We've got Gabriel Hall here. And it is we've got Damien, who's here with Gabriel Hall. So talk to me about your prospectus had mentioned the deep connection between New Orleans and Detroit. I've been here since '96.
Right.
I still don't know enough about Detroit.
Right.
What deep connection? Like what are you trying to leverage there?
Okay, well, the connection, and just before I go into the connection, we'll have a museum piece of it to celebrate that. But my family moved to Detroit from New Orleans in the 1940s.
There you
go.
go.
So when they all came here, they're all musicians. So it was like two huge families from New Orleans who was deep-rooted in that tradition, moved to Detroit and just brought all that with them, the culture, the food, the language, everything. So, I mean, second-line funerals, second-line parades, and the whole 9 yards. I mean, so they became embedded into the fabric of the Detroit music scene as well. I mean, people, Gabriel's were in Aretha Franklin's National Orchestra, to Marcus Belgrave, the international jazz icon from Detroit.
Okay.
You know, who was real close to the family. So, I mean, when Lionel Hampton Band would come in town, you had Gabriel's infused in that band. And it's a connection there that a lot of Detroiters don't even know. I mean, some music heads know, of course.
Right.
And New Orleans music heads know, but a lot of people here don't know. You know, like even Greystone International Museum did a documentary on my family.
Okay.
You know? No kidding. And when that was over, and when that guy passed, Charles Wright inherited a lot of that stuff. I'm actually right now trying to get some of that stuff back because they have my granddad drums in the basement and displayed as a jazz museum, as a jazz club.
How crazy is that?
So yeah, it's so we gotta celebrate some of that history there, and why not have some hurricanes, some shrimp etouffee, some gumbo, and some.
I'm in.
I would love to have. Some, I would love to have some to-go daiquiris, but I don't know if the city's gonna go for that. But I'll see what I can do.
So talk to me. So what is Gabriel Hall? I mean, what is the game plan there?
It'll be a restaurant. It'll be a restaurant that serves Creole cuisine, but and also have live entertainment on the weekends, on Saturdays. But when it's not live entertainment, you're going to hear that New Orleans music because the food and the music goes together. If you ask anybody from New Orleans, you can't have one without the other. So you're going to hear that the old stuff from the Louis Armstrong to the old sound to the new sound to
if
that.
If you make a proper po' boy, I'm in like 3 days a week.
He's about to slap Bob across the face.
I just went to New Orleans. I was there for a week. I tried not to eat a po' boy every day. That's the place you can't go there and lose weight. So
no. You can lose time in New Orleans, but not lose weight.
Not weight. Not weight. So my heart is Detroit all day, but my blood is New Orleans. My family goes back to the 1850s in New Orleans.
Okay, so wow, so that's awesome. So I mean, the place opens up. Like, who do you envision going there?
Well, when you think of New Orleans, it's very diverse, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't know this, but Michigan is the most segregated state in the nation.
Oh, yeah, no, I think everybody knows that.
Well, it is. And when you come to, and a couple years ago, we started throwing like Mardi Gras galas, black tie events,
right?
And the people that would come, who would be having a good time at our events, it was so diverse. So I want to help fuse that and kind of be more integrated, and
there's so many events right now that people don't mix in. Like Mardi Gras, how do you not have fun? So I'm 100% German. We do Oktoberfest. How do you not have fun at an Oktoberfest, right? Just beer and it's almost the same music as Zydeco, right? You got the accordion. But what I'm saying is there's so much culture, and nobody's doing a good Mardi Gras in this town. That'd be so proper.
My great grandfather played accordion.
Oh yeah,
yeah. But it was around the time when
it's a dying breed, man. Even the Germans don't play anymore.
So one of the guys that Louis Armstrong looked up to, Buddy Bolden, was taking all the gigs. So my great grandfather played accordion. So he comes in. He's like, man, this guy taking all the gigs. You and Kepper, you got to learn how to play cornet. So they learned that, and he learned how to play the instrument. Because at that time in New Orleans, everybody played music. How now everybody raps.
Right.
Not good. That was the thing at the time.
Right.
Back when jazz was spelled JASS.
Right.
Yeah.
So now I'm trying to think. I'm completely brain cramping on the place that's downtown.
Cliff Bells? Don't say fish bones.
That's so. I am.
Yeah.
That's where I was. So
they do sushi.
That's people's exposure to New Orleans
from
the area. So, when they
first opened, my aunt was their kitchen consultant, Bernice Senans Gabriel. So to make sure that their gumbo was authentic. But their kitchen's turned over like about 3-4 times since then. So it's not the same. They also do sushi now, right? Is that really traditional New Orleans?
No, you don't go. Well, and I don't understand why people go there and order it. Like, I don't.
Yeah.
You know what? Their gumbo yaya is all right, but I never had
jambalaya is tight.
I never had, but I never went to New Orleans, so I don't know.
Yeah, you can't
know
fool people from there.
It's not New Orleans. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
But for here, it's
like,
good.
It's like calling Little Caesars Italians.
Right.
Taco Bell's Mexican.
So, like, where do you envision opening? How do you envision that going?
In my neighborhood, in Woodbridge, in Midtown. I'm a native Detroiter. I moved back in 2008. I was gone 10 years, and I just felt the new resurgence, new energy in the city, and I had to be a piece of that. And I was living in the East Coast, Jersey, New York area, and I started looking at houses. I'm like, oh, I can't pay that much. So I moved back home, get a piece of land, a piece of property, and I want to open up a business in my neighborhood. I mean, right now you have Woodbridge Pub, and the neighborhood, it's like the neighborhood staple right now, and the neighborhood is really hungry for something else in the area.
So everything works out, and you're good to go. Like, when do you envision opening? How do you envision that going?
I'm targeting next summer.
Okay.
And we having a series of fundraisers. This $50,000 will help so much. But until then, I mean, we're still going. We throw a New Orleans night every 2 months to help raise funds at the Penobscot Building.
So what's a New Orleans night?
Well, New Orleans night, we have the food. We change up our menu just to see what really takes and what really doesn't.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Until we actually open. And we have Gabriel Brass Band. And because I'm a 5th-generation musician, I play trumpet, and I have a New Orleans-style brass band. You might catch us sometime at Greektown after a Tigers game.
Okay.
And you have the music and the food. And when we are on break, you hear that sound of New Orleans. So it's kind of reminiscent of actual New Orleans night at my venue, where we will always have a New Orleans night once a month. But if it's not a New Orleans night, it'll be, like I said, on Saturdays, it'll be other live entertainment.
Okay. All right, so where do people go to find out more about you?
Well, as of right now, you can definitely go to our Facebook page, Gabriel Hall, where sometimes we post a few food pics and sometimes we post some of the history there. And also you can follow Gabriel Brass Band, and that way you can keep track of what we're doing around the city.
Okay. All right, very cool. What didn't we hit on?
Well, I just want to let everybody know, just vote for your favorites out there. This contest is still going. Looking forward to Wednesday and the Hatch Off. These are some great contestants, and I'm really enjoying this whole process. I feel like I'd be begging for change, though, when I'd be asking people to vote for me a little bit. But you got to do what you got to do.
You can ask.
Yeah, I'm privileged to be on the show.
Hey, politicians do it. You're good.
And also, I'm feeling good in the sauna. You guys got me in right now. I feel like I lost a couple pounds, so that helps me for all the po' boys I ate.
Have a Slim Jim before you leave.
All right, so I'll tell you what. Let's go ahead and hop over to the last finalist that we've got here, Third Wave Music.
That's me.
Yeah. So talk a little bit about. So what I read was it was a community spot. It was new and used music sales. So like introduce yourself and then what is Third Wave Music supposed to be?
Well, really quick, I want to bring up that you can hear Gabriel Brass Band for free at Detroit's longest running street fair, Dally in the Alley, September 6th.
Okay.
And that's going to be super fun. I help out and organize that festival. And Gabriel
is that on
Brass
Saturday?
Band, yes, it is a Saturday.
Are you guys coming to the chili cook-off at the Rathskeller, the Dakota? No, because there was a brass band that came last year.
Was it? They
were amazing.
A brass band last year.
Okay, so back.
Sorry.
Over here.
Sorry.
You can talk after. I don't know. You mentioned that your listeners were rock and rollers, and I want to bring up.
No. Everyone else on this network is rock and roll.
Gotcha. Okay.
Us, we're all over the map. We're nerds who like everything.
So it doesn't matter. Anyone can appreciate music, whether you make it or whatever.
Right.
So Detroit right now is really lacking. There's a great void. We don't, with the history that we have a few full-service musical instrument shop.
Okay.
So when you say community, the community is natural because musicians need a place to go to buy accessories to continue performing their craft. So we're going to be a place where people can buy their strings, their reeds, their sticks, their picks, whatever you need to keep playing. But also we're going to offer free community lessons. There's going to be recitals, and then on top of that there will be actual lessons, repairs, and used gear. Because a lot of musicians are particular. I want a 72 Telecaster, not a 2005 Telecaster.
Right.
So we're going to offer everything that a musician needs to keep performing and keep playing.
So now, how do you combat, getting to know some of the people here at the network, and a lot of them are in bands, and a lot of them know a lot of people in bands, and so I've gotten to know way more about the Detroit music scene than I ever thought I would. Everything I hear says there's so much infighting and ego and everything else going on right now. How do you combat that to bring them together as a community?
Well, I would disagree. I'm actually in the music scene as well. I'm an original performer and organizer. I help organize festivals like DALY and BFF Fest and BYO Bach, which is a classical music monthly. And when I started, when I was 17, I only found support from people, encouraging, helping me open up for different gigs, helping me buy what I needed or used gear, whatever. I always found that everyone was very encouraging. And it doesn't matter if some people believe there's infighting. If you play something, you need certain things to continue playing.
Absolutely.
So whether you think something about someone, if you live in the area, you need to buy what you need to buy to continue your craft. So I number one, disagree that there is infighting, and number two, I don't think it's even relevant because you got to get what you got to get.
Right. Okay. So, what is the vision for? I mean, what do you think this? I mean, is it a store? Is it a coffee shop? Is it a hangout place? Is it?
I'd say the first and the last. So imagine yourself. You walk into Third Wave. You see a saxophone. It's bright. It's curvy. It calls you forward. The electric light of a pedal catches your eye. Yeah, bright and curvy. I love it. You see a pedal that catches your eye. There's electronics. There's stringed instruments. There's sales clerk that are inviting and encouraging rather than elitist. Not pretentious, exactly. It's very important as a musician because a music store supports musicians, and musicians inspire a city. So we want to be a place, of course we're going to have all the goods that you need.
There's a charm, not to jump in real quick, but there's a charm.
Not to, or yes
about
to.
A great,
but he's going
about
to.
A great, me growing up as a DJ, I used to go to Record Time all the time, and those guys were cool. They never, looked at you going, you're still playing this crap, dude?
And we'll have needles, too. That's another thing as well.
But even just having cool people that aren't, nose up in the air, and just have a sense of community in the store. It's a good that was our Saturday. That was Saturday at noon. We were there every week.
To play on that, that's really important because if young musicians are not encouraged, we're not going to keep up this legacy that we have as a city. If you go in somewhere and you're a 17-year-old girl trying to buy a guitar and you saved up money at your first job, and some guy is trying to convince you that the hollow body that you want is too big, and you get the wrong guitar and you feel sad when you leave, not inspired.
Right.
That's not going to be encouraging. That's not going to make you write or perform or be the musician you want to be. So we will be a support system, a community space, and encouraging and welcome to every musician.
It's awesome.
Oh, it's very cool. So now, and you said you're already involved in organizing festivals and that kind of stuff. I mean, is that something you see as a key contingent of it?
Oh yeah, and this grant will help a lot because that $50,000 is going to cover everything we need, retail and build out. So there's going to be a little bit on top of that will help us organize more recitals, more free community lessons, more different events that are for the community as well. Musicians and non-musicians alike. Because even non-musicians are curious about music. And if it's free, you'll probably come.
No, yeah, because that was, like I said, one of the I wandered into Guitar Center, and that was just a debacle. And one of the things my wife had asked me to check into was, yeah, exactly, the Slim Jim of the music industry. Apparently they do they do group lessons and that kind of stuff, and just the attitude that I got from people, I'm like, no, I'm not bringing my daughter here ever at all for under any circumstances.
It's important to feel welcome and inspired from a store. It's a huge community in the city, and it's important to keep this community thriving and playing.
I never understood why stores are. There's some the indie record store, the gun shop. The gun shop's it's the worst place to go because they look at you like you're I'm buying I'm supporting your light You work here because I buy stuff. So you should want me to buy stuff. Like, why are you mean to me?
Yeah, dear Best Buy nerd, shut up.
Exactly. Exactly. No, it's great, though. It's good to hear. Like, the community thing I always think is good because more people need to have it because you feel a sense of, like, you want to shop there because you're cool with everyone there. Like,
Well,
it's a huge thing.
Yeah, it's important to realize, too, when you got to drive 35 minutes out to a Guitar Center to buy something that is your creative outlet, you get there, no longer do you feel creative. You feel stressed from the traffic. Or when you buy online.
Not only that, but when I get there and you condescend to me about why I'm asking about the wrong mic stands and I'm asking about the, this, that, and the other thing. When, you know what, Skippy, I'm not a musician, but I've done all my homework online and I know this is exactly what I want. And so I'm trying to do a nice thing and support your local business before I go order it online.
And that's
you
why
make that hard for me.
Independent
Kiss
music
my ass,
stores
move on.
are very important.
Absolutely.
Independent music stores are very important to a community, to a city, to an area, to a metropolis. The Detroit metro area fuels itself with music.
So, I mean, is it, we talked about, community and instruments and that kind of stuff. I mean, is this the place I can, like, pop in and buy a CD from local artists?
It's not going to be music in the recorded form.
Okay.
It's going to be the stuff that gets the people able to make the CDs that you're listening to.
Gotcha.
So a musical instrument shop.
If I go there, will I be able to play Stairway to Heaven?
There's
outside,
no
we'll have a whole courtyard. I might not give you an amp, but I'll give you an acoustic
It's
guitar.
a Wayne's World joke for anybody under the age of 35.
No,
I have no idea what I'm talking about.
But I'd have to see it
give you
first to believe it.
headphones for everyone else in the store.
Right.
Just saying.
All right, so where do people find out more about what you've got going on?
Well, you can go to thirdwavy.com. That's WAVY.
Okay.
Like a big hand waving like our logo. So thirdwavy.com, and we're pretty active on the Facebook, facebook.com/
The Facebooks, we call it here.
Facebook's the face space.
The internets.
The face of I'm not going to finish that. .com/thirdwavemusic.
Okay. All right, very cool. All right, well, I'll tell you what. Let's wrap around with Victoria now, since you are the queen of Hatch Detroit and all that goes on. The final week of voting is going on now. The hatch off and all that happens Wednesday night. So decisions on this are made when?
We have to vote. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
How about now?
Better.
So you have to vote we have a community vote tomorrow.
Okay.
That is the final community vote.
You've got a couple, in-person voting locations.
And it's our final community vote where, unfortunately yet fortunately, our contestants aren't allowed to go. And the reason for that is just so that they have a lot of work to prepare for.
Well, and it would be unfair because you have someone showing up with a killer chicken and these freaking cookies and a po' boy, and then she shows up with a guitar.
Beautiful music. It's happened. And let me tell you, I've been there when all four of them have been around, and that's why all four of them are here right now.
Right.
I mean, they did it, and amazingly. So, we just want them to just concentrate on what they have to do for Wednesday. So we do have a final vote community-wide at Peacock Room tomorrow.
Okay.
And then our vote ends tomorrow. And basically, it's just judges and everything out from there. So we really need people to just really vote. Now is a very important time to vote.
Okay.
Vote. But aside from that, I just want to say that if you do support these guys, which you should, because they're amazing, all four of them, we're really lucky. Every year, I feel like, this is the fourth year of the contest. It's my third year involved. And I feel like every year I'm blown away by who we have here.
Oh, all four last year were outstanding. Any one of them I would have been happy to see win.
And then this year I'm like outstanding. And it's just, I don't know, every year.
Can you be like Chopped Kids where they just give everyone the scholarship after even though they lose? Come on back.
Everyone gets a trophy.
No, it's funny.
But honestly,
you get $50,000 and you get
Let's do it. Crowdsource.
I'd love to. But no.
I'm just throwing it out there. It's the age of everyone gets a ribbon.
I know, no, we're not. I'm not at that age. I live in Detroit. No one gets a ribbon.
Sorry, I live in the suburbs. I'm that guy.
Are we back there? We're back there.
Yeah, no, we went there.
No participation awards.
Sorry. But most importantly, like, I know we're getting tight on time, but like the thing that's really exciting about this year's
have keys. We have all the time in the world.
Okay. Well, I have a 20-minute
manifesto that you'd like to read through. By all means.
And Ashley has a dictionary that I would like to
I would listen to her talk through whatever she wanted to talk.
I know, right? Sometimes I don't even want to hear her, and then I still do.
Wait, she said nothing today. Get up here. What are you doing?
Because I love her.
Well, I hope so. She took the fall for you earlier.
Have you guys heard her sing?
No, but I did. I stalked her on Facebook and did. I did. Sorry. Before she, well, you have to do a background check on people. Before this is not the time for this, Ashley. This is not the time.
Did you ever hear me karaoke Lou Rawls? I'm just saying.
I'm just saying.
I do a wicked Humpty dance.
You'll never find.
So back to me.
Oh, it's all about you. What?
That'll be isolated.
I snorted.
That isolated.
All right. Anyhow, people.
Edit that together.
What is really exciting right now for everyone who's in this room and like our past contestants is that we have expanded we've expanded our giving, and we have a relationship now with the Detroit Lions who are supporting our alums. So it's really exciting that in the 3 years of the contest, we had 11 people open up or, that have almost opened up.
Well, that's the great part is it's not just the winners.
Right. So what's really great right now is that we also have funding from the Lions to actually support more of those people. So we have more going on right now that, like, all of these, like, these 4 right now are going to make it. We have no doubt. And in 2 years prior, all 4 of them opened up. And last year,
I completely, because I want chicken, I want pies.
Who doesn't?
I want jambalaya.
You just want them all in
and
one
I want
area.
a non-condescending music store I can go to.
So we're really excited. And
Put them in the food court of a Como. No, I'm just kidding.
Comerica obviously gives us a $50,000 prize,
Right.
which is just...
That's awesome.
What can we do without that? I mean, it's an amazing honor, and we're really thrilled to have them. So just between our sponsors and what we do, and we do more than just the contest, which we can talk about at another time when you have me on again. But it is just... I know. I ripped on you a little too much.
No, not yet.
Sorry.
He
I can
enjoys
go
it.
there. We'll polka later. If you can do it well, it's a polka off.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm in.
Okay.
And video.
But I mean, the point is that these guys are just wonderful contestants. They've done like remarkable jobs to get to where they are right now. I've never been so proud.
Well, and they've obviously all thought it through. I mean, this isn't
their
on a
answers
whim.
to these questions. I mean, everything they've done, and I'd be honored to have either. And I'm saying this to all of you in the studio. Any one of you guys would be an amazing asset as the winner, but we'll still support you in any way you go. And I just am proud. I'm really happy. Aww. Okay, was
Group
that
hug. Group hug on the radio.
Kumbaya, my love.
So hey, how can everybody vote? What's the website?
Detroit.com.
So is the online
Detroit.com.
Is the online voting still open?
It's still open.
Okay.
Through tomorrow at 5. Through the 20th at 5.
And
Okay.
that's the page.
And
Wednesday.
Facebook as well.
Okay.
And then we have a community vote tomorrow
At Peacock.
At Peacock Room, and it's for 4 hours, so it's a huge community vote.
Okay.
And she has beautiful clothes, so if you want to buy tickets to the Hatch Off,
Okay.
my advice personally is to buy a ticket for the Hatch Off. And if you're a woman,
And what is the hatch off?
Oh, you don't know what the Hatch Off is?
I'm being a good interviewer and asking you a leading question.
Yeah, sorry.
Because Ashley filled me in nicely earlier.
Just making sure. Well, the Hatch Off is when all of our 4 contestants get up there and they basically give their case, and they are trying to, win the judges' vote. So our judges' vote is 50% of the total vote, and then the other vote, the popular vote is
Right.
50%. So
the judges are like the electoral college of the Hatch
pretty
Detroit
much,
process?
yeah. So they're supposed to present for 5 minutes. They can do whatever they want for 5 minutes. And then they are, they have to answer questions back and forth with one another and the judges. Craig Foley is our MC.
Okay.
I will not tell you who our judges are because I don't want the four of you to bother.
Why are we the MC? I'm just kidding.
And it's a pretty awesome thing. We announced the winner at the Hatch Off, which is
so the
very
winner comes
emotional.
out Wednesday night.
Yeah, it's very emotional.
So you better edit the crap out of this and get it live tomorrow. So
pretty much.
Right? Yeah,
You're not sleeping
it's
tonight.
Pretty emotional. But it's pretty awesome. And so, so ticket sales. But what I was going to say is that what I think people should do is, especially the women, buy their tickets and then go to
And what does a ticket cost?
Well, gosh, you asked me specifics. It's $65. $50.
Sorry, Ashley, what do tickets cost?
Ashley, my communication person. Who made these prices?
VIP's 100.
Yeah, but the cost per
It's an
ticket
open
is way
bar.
more than that.
Oh, I don't know me very well.
Who made these ticket prices?
Do I get a chicken and a cookie and a jambalaya?
No, it's open bar. They don't know me very. They don't know us very well.
Challenge accepted. We're there.
Yeah. So
It's usually my bartender at the corner bar is still alone. So
it's not open bar unless you pay for the upper price.
the VIP, no, we know.
Yeah, I'm just making sure. I know you.
We just donated 100 to ALS each one of us, so we have no issues donating to.
Did you not have you not
stuff.
seen us before ever? Oh, that's right. You never bothered to come meet us at 3rd Street. You're not familiar with us.
So hey, HatchDetroit.com. We're coming up to the end of the show.
Right. So the online voting continues through Wednesday, and Facebook is at Hatch Detroit as well.
We'll make sure and put some stuff up on LinkedIn and Facebook on our listeners and Twitter as well.
Please.
Yeah, we have. Yeah, we don't use Twitter enough. We have like 16,000 followers. We have no idea.
Again, we don't know why.
Exactly.
All right,
you're awesome.
I'll tell you what.
You're awesome.
We'll take a quick run around the room just to make sure we hit everything. So everything is at Hatch Detroit for the online voting, Facebook.com/Hatch Detroit. Let's double back to Cockadoodle, and you are at
Facebook.
Yes, Facebook.com/Cockadoodle313.
Okay.
Let's bring full service breakfast to the neighborhood of the Avenue of Fashion.
Okay, and then Sister Pies.
Yeah, Sister Pie is.
Sorry.
It's okay. It's Facebook.com/Sister
You
Pie.
can't pluralize it?
Well,
We're gonna say
actually,
pies.
I didn't actually get to say this, but
You're only allowed to buy one. You can only buy one pie.
It's like Ford's. No, it is Ford.
the name Sister Pie is actually a term of endearment between my younger sister and I. Kind of like, hey, Sister Pie, what's up, Sister Pie? Yeah, so that's where that comes from.
Special.
But yeah, Facebook.com/Sister Pie.
Okay.
And then our Instagram is at Sister Pie Detroit. And we're bringing pies and cookies and breakfast and lunch to the West Village.
And you brought cookies here. So
and I
we're
did
happy.
do that.
Right, and then Third Wave Music.
Third Wavy, WAVY.com or Facebook.com/Third Wave Music. And Detroit Rock City needs a musical instrument store.
She's got a good radio voice, by the way.
She does.
Yeah.
Well,
I worked on the radio with Andalisi.
with
for a little
Andalisi,
bit.
yeah.
I'm a Renaissance woman.
And then Gabriel Hall.
Yeah, just check us out on Facebook, Gabriel Hall, or you can search Gabriel Brass Band. I also want to give a shout out to my business partner E, who did the Running Man when you guys played Will Smith Summertime. So definitely check us out.
Summertime car. It looked like a car show. How does it? I forget what the words are. To this.
What else is new?
So hey, this is
and Jeremiah. Thanks for coming out, man.
Yeah, appreciate it, man.
Detroit News Hub as always, and everything else that's going on out there.
This was episode 55 of the IT in the D show.
We've survived 55.
I won't be here next week, but you guys will be just fine.
I don't know about that.
We'll see ya. Beat it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Emergency destruct system is now activated.
Look out! Flash!
What? Don't move! Stay where you are!
Long live Flash! You've saved your life. Have a nice day.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Nice shooting, son. What's your name?
Murphy.
Make the run.
The run.
Game over, man. It's game over.
It's over, Johnny. It's over.
Nothing is over! Nothing! You just don't turn it off! Yo! Hold up! Time out! Time out! Y'all take a chill. You need to cool that shit out. And that's the double truth, Ruth.
I hope this was as much fun for you as it was for me.
How much scotch did you drink that night, by the way?
Half a bottle.
Okay, then shut the hell up.
You're in your underwear, I'm in my underwear. Hey, let's hang out.
No, I'm sorry, honey. I have a headache.
I definitely want to see Bob in his underwear. That's a fact.
Bear me.
Why would, like, Buick put their cars next to, like, the Bentleys? Like, why? That's not marketing.
The alphabet.
It's brilliant. Because you're getting your 8-track tuned up. Are we at a break yet?
I may have to wipe the geek off. I can't say no, and I don't really want to.
Well, especially with the back doors open.
We just lost our clean tag on iTunes.
So you have no boots.
No.
You have no gloves.
No.
You have no hat.
No.
You have no scarf.
No.
You have no scraper.
No.
How long have you lived in Michigan?
All my life.
You, sir, are an idiot.
I don't care.
When are we going to talk about me?
Jane, you ignorant slut.
This is the ladies' man.
Guess Captain Soundboard doesn't know how to run the soundboard.
Shut up. Stop talking.
I'm so white right now.
I'm the whitest guy in the room. Just explain it to me.
I love this city. I was banging on the way.
Really? Should we talk about this? Tag team it. Should I keep going or should I stop?
Hell yeah.
Can I just say, it's been great being on a show that talks about Mickey Rooney dying for 20 seconds and then poop for 10 minutes.
You're not very informative, but wow, are you entertaining.
This is a previously recorded episode of the IT in the D Show.